Welcome back, folks, and back with another review and thoughts on, I will say, Y2K. In terms of the positives in this, I'll give the soundtrack. It felt very 90s, early 2000s, but mostly early 90s, or late 90s, I should say, because this takes place 1999 to pretty much they're celebrating 2000 year switching. So, but yeah, it deals with two high school juniors. They want to make their last year of 1999 worth going out with a bang into the 2000s. So they crash this New Year's party, and pretty much crazy stuff happens at this party, and stuff, pops off, and deaths begin to occur, and it becomes a global thing. Although it seems just this town is what is in destruction right now. But anyway, it deals with AI and computers taking over and robots taking over. That aside, that plot Terminator, except not as good. I will say the positives I can give this movie is the soundtrack. Although one song I didn't really think jibed with the rest of the movie. With the, it was like a Mexican track or song. It sounded very modern, which I didn't like. It didn't sound at all late 90s or even early 2000s. It didn't sound. It sounded modern, which I didn't like, so that kind of threw me off for a bit. It's only in one scene at the party. The practical effects of the robots, of what you do see, as many of them as you do see, I actually liked some of their designs, although again they're made of different knickknacks and gadgets. But it's they're practical suits, so you can tell somebody's in a suit or whatever. I like that. I thought it was cool that they went all out with that instead of CGI. Although there is some CGI probably to enhance some of the looks of the robots, which is fine. But yeah, it co-stars Rachel Zegler, which Snow White. If anybody is a fan of her, I have not seen Snow White. I don't even know. I can't remember when that is supposed to come out. I don't plan on seeing it unless somebody requests it. I didn't mind her in this. I thought she was fine. I know she gets a lot of flack for, I guess, her political stuff or whatever, flack or whatever stance she's on. People don't like her. I don't understand why. But aside from that, I didn't mind her in it. I thought she did fine for what she had to do. She played mostly a popular it girl who's also a secret nerd, because then she ends up she's able to hack into the robots by the end and stuff like that. And of course we have the lead guy named Eli and his buddy. I forget his buddy's name, but he reminded me of Ned, the guy that played Ned from Spider-Man's Homecoming and the other Spider-Man movies in the MCU. I did like his character for a minute. The best friend of the lead for a minute, and then he dies, which I thought sucked. I liked his confidence at the party where he, I'm gonna make this night a night to remember, and we're gonna have fun, and he scores with a chick by the end of the night, which I thought was cool. But our lead guy, Eli, who's basically he's sort of a nerd, but more of a dweeb. I don't want to say dweeb, but he's looked at as like he would sit at the losers club. He reminded me a bit of a young Edward Furlong from T2, except I would say he had a bit more edge to his character, John Connor's young John Connor in T2. I would say he had more edge to him as this kid or guy, whatever. Not really. Like he was fine for what he had to do. I mean, he didn't do much except he gave a pretty embarrassing speech at the end, and this is also a black comedy a bit because it goes from a horror to some sci-fi. It was mostly horror, mostly sci-fi, and comedy, which some of the humor did make me chuckle a bit. I mean, I would say probably the best line in this to me was the fact that when it's like four characters are walking and they get into town, and at one point they go to a video store and they're like, oh man, they got the video store. Because they see it's all run down and destroyed. I don't know, the way that girl said the line I thought was funny because, like, yeah, because we don't have video stores anymore. So it was like pretty cool to see old school desktops. Granted, I didn't grow up in the 90s. I was born in the late 90s, so guess my age, but I grew up mostly in the 2000s and on. Um, but yeah, I don't remember ever having a computer desktop like that much, really. Um, the acting I thought was fine from everyone, not anything worth, you know, praising. Um, I will say, if I had to give negatives, maybe again the one song at the party, which did not sound like its era of this movie supposed to be portraying. And even the ending, like the ending seemed it was fine for what it was, but then I didn't like how it's sort of it's a sequel bait ending if you want to get down to it. It just leaves you off with a sequel bait ending, which was stupid. Because by the end, it takes place. It skips 5 years later, and I guess stuff has went back to normal somewhat, but people are still using MP3 players and I guess phones, even though I would not be doing that for I don't care how many years. 5 is not enough. I mean, and then even like the ending song I thought was decent, but then they cut it off for a stupid music video of the best friend Ned character guy who ends up, I guess they do like a stupid music video of him in a like a cyber world. It also gave off a bit of Lawnmower Man CGI computer graphics from the late 90s, which that's what it would look like, so I did appreciate them sticking to that. And even the evil AI computer interface, I thought was pretty cool. Throwback of that era of technology not being anywhere good as now. But yeah, overall, I can't say I cared for much of anyone except for again his one friend, and again maybe a little bit for the lead character, not by much. Oh, and also Alicia Silverstone. She's not in this much, but she plays the mom of the lead kid or guy, whatever you want to call. And she has nothing to do really. Even by the end, like her and the dad show up because they've been a lot of these people. I guess the robots. I don't know why I chose this. Although there is like because I did read up on what Y2K means, so I guess that sort of has a whatever with that meaning with that. But yeah, overall, it's edited just okay. Again, some of the humor worked for me. A lot of it didn't. And you also have this one character who likes to rap a lot, which I thought, why? Like, you're not cool. He says the word yo a lot, which wasn't cool. Oh, there's also this, I guess, this one rock band lead singer who people are a fan of. He ends up taking shelter at the video store, and our main characters meet him, and he gives a performance at the very end in the finale, which I thought was not needed, but then also a highlight because the way he's singing, have faith. Like, I don't even know what the name of the song was. Have faith, I guess, or no, it's gotta have faith. That's what it was. Gotta have faith, I believe. That's what. But he like sings it like it's very acoustic at first, and then it goes into like this rock uh groove, or the way he sings it, like he starts screaming as if he's at a rock concert. I get he's supposed to be like a rock star or whatever, or a heavy metal fan, or he's in a heavy metal band or whatever. But like the way he was singing, like God, it just made me laugh the whole time. Because then it's by the finale, our two leads are either trying to hack the main computer to shut down the robots, and then it cuts to this guy singing, "Gotta have faith." I'm like, okay, the editing in this is not, that great. It's directed by Kyle Mooney. I don't know what else he's done. But and this is also a A24 film, which I'm not a fan of A24 films at all. The only one I liked is The Lodge, which a lot of fans of A24 hate, which I don't understand why. Because I thought that's their only good movie or best movie to me. I hate Midsommar. I hate Hereditary, which I already guessed the twist by the whatever middle. And I haven't seen their other films, but they're just very artsy. Granted, they're trying to step out of their comfort zones, like with what is it called? The Killing Unicorn, or whatever it's called with Jenna Ortega. That sort of looks interesting, so I'll take a look at that for sure. But yeah, Y2K. It was a time waster at best. I wouldn't say it's a horrible film. I wouldn't say it's a bad film. But it's just mid time waster. Like, you have it on in the background. If anything, like, again, some of the practical effects of the robots I appreciated, and the soundtrack I would say is the best parts. Also, Brian McKnight song back at one. Random song I would have never, would have never guessed that in a scene where there is a porta potty and fluids going everywhere.